What is up? It's your boy Aing here, bringing to you guys a brand new freaking video, man. So look, listen, today we got a fun one. Today we got an exciting one. Today we got a banger. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. No, this is not clickbait. Now I will say, obviously, we're not at my house, so the truck is back and operational, but I did a very bad no-no. So before we get into today's video, please leave a like, a comment, and a subscription. I don't even have to ask you for a comment. I don't even know why I asked, because I'm gonna get a lot of comments on this video. So this happened to me about a week or two ago, and it was the worst week or two ago that I've ever had in my entire life. So before we get into what actually happened, really big disclaimer, this whole video has nothing to do with any company and has 100% to do with my lack of knowledge. Now I will say, I have some mechanical experience, okay? I've done the lift kit, I've done upper control arms, I've changed some tires. I actually have never changed tires, I've rotated tires. And that's as far as my mechanic work goes. So my dad actually is a full-time mechanic. So I hit up my dad, I'm like, hey Pop, I need some tools to do a modification on the truck. Can you let me borrow them? My dad, being the legend that he is, he's like, yes, take them. And I got the tools, I got the modification that I was going to do. Saturday morning, I wake up, I'm feeling good. I'm like, babe, I'm gonna go eat me some breakfast. The breakfast of a champion, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I get dressed, I'm looking all nice. I go outside and I start working on the truck. Now, my truck is parked in my driveway. My driveway is at a slant. If you're a mechanic or you have any mechanical knowledge, you already know there's some stuff that you should do before you start working on a truck that's downhill. I do the front. The front was an absolute treat. I did it, I kid you not, in like 5-10 minutes. The rear though, the rear, this is where things get tricky. My truck was parked towards my house. So this was towards my house. So I tell Sandy, baby, move the truck for me, all right? I'm over here working, I can't get in the truck all sweaty. So she gets in the truck, she backs out and then reverses into the driveway, making the rear end up like this. I'm all excited. I'm like, baby, this is gonna be done in 5-10 minutes. We'll go get a bite after this and, you know, we'll call it a day. So I get my chairs out, setting up the chairs for Sandy to sit down. She's sitting there watching me, and I'm thinking I'm some like magical creature. I'm like, okay, this will be done in no time. We start on this side. So we start on this side, and well, I take off the U-bolts from this side, and they were super hard. They were super hard to get out. So I'm sitting there and I'm loosening it and loosening it and loosening it and loosening it. Finally get it off. The leaf pack comes up a little bit, and I'm like, why was that so difficult? I look at the bolts and they're stripped. You know, I'm looking at it, I'm inspecting it. Sandy's starting to get a little worried. I'm like, babe, don't worry about it. We still got like 20 minutes, all right? We'll make it to breakfast. I honestly don't know if I did it or the shop before did it. It doesn't matter. But at the time, my brain was like, go check the other ones. You have to remember how the situation is set up, okay? My truck has the e-brake on and is up, okay? It's facing downwards, facing down the driveway, down. So at this point, my legs are dangling this way, and I get out and walking around. Sandy's sitting like right here. I'm like, baby, I'm just like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna check this side out, and I'll let you know what I find. So I get out underneath the truck. I take out one of the bolts. There's 4. Came out easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Take out another one, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So this is where it gets bad. So I've taken out 2. I go to take out that third one. Okay, this third one, I still cringe every time I think about it. I'm undoing that third one, and it comes off all the way to the very end. You know when you click on a video and it's like very graphic footage, do you want to continue? I feel like that was God. That last bolt was God asking me, are you sure you want to continue? My dad always tells me, if something is not coming out as it should, you're doing something wrong, because there shouldn't be tension there, right? So I'm like, all right, buddy, it's you against me. So I absolutely grab it as strong as I can, and it comes off. When it comes off, it was the worst noise I had ever heard in my entire life. It was like boom, 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 boom. It wasn't really like that. It was like whoosh, bang, doink. No, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it wasn't a pleasant noise. It sounded like my truck was about to transform into Bumblebee. So as that's happening, Sandy was like, babe, what was that? I'm like, oh, nothing. I just, you know, I took off the U-bolt here. Panic hit. Let me show you guys some of the pictures of what it originally looked like. So at this point, I am absolutely losing it. My legs, noodles. It's like you went to Olive Garden and grabbed 2 of their noodles and put them underneath my body. I was shaking. I'm telling Sandy, I'm like, babe, call my dad right now. Call him. He's working, so he doesn't answer me. But the brat that I am, I called him again. I'm like, Pop, I did something to the truck. Can you please come help me? The axle, right, went like this. it rolled forward, and the body of the truck went with it. Why? I didn't put wheel chocks in the front of my truck. That, as you guys saw in the pictures, rolled forward, and the axle has a little bolt, like a little nipple that has to go inside underneath this. So I put this bad boy into reverse, and the truck, this part of the truck was getting further than this one. But when I put it into neutral, hear me out, you guys are about to learn something new, stay tuned. When I put it into neutral, the truck would go backwards. So this axle would line up with the leaf springs, but not quite enough. Like it would get right there, okay? And then I'd be like, all right, babe, don't move. Put the e-brake on and park it. This is where it gets bad. She parks it and it lurches way more forward, like way more. Look, I didn't listen to my dad in the first place, wheel chocks. Secondly, my dad always tells me to work on one side, fix the one side, and then go to the other. Mistake number 2. Third, my dad gets here and he was like, okay, let me try something. To this day, I cannot remember what it is that my dad was trying to tell me to try. I was like, Bob, listen to me. Let me show you what happened. So he's like, okay, I'll listen. So I'm like, all right, put my windows down. Pop this bad boy on, I turn it on, truck's running. I'm like, all right, look, I'm gonna put it into neutral and I'm gonna show you that the axle gets close to being back in line. He's like, all right, go for it. You know how I told you the worst sound was when the truck lurched forward? No, this is worse. The truck was in neutral and all of a sudden, imagine a baseball bat slamming against another baseball bat right in your ear. I was way lost. I was like, what is that noise? That does not sound right. Second, like 2 seconds later, my dad started to scream, stop, stop, stop. It was bad. I got out the truck and I'll put pictures on the screen now. As you guys can see, my drive shaft was on the ground. I don't cuss in front of my dad out of respect, but apparently Sandy said I was cussing. I don't remember it. I remember blacking out. I was bugging out and my dad was like, it's okay. We're gonna fix it. My dad was calm the whole time. And I'm just like, Bob, my truck is ruined. My truck is ruined. My truck is ruined. My truck is ruined. The truck had lurched all the way forward. This was sitting on my tires. This on the tires. All my cabling and stuff fully extended, fully stretched out. You couldn't like bend it down like this right here. You could not move it at all. I mean, you can't move it much here, but you could not move it even this much. All right, you know what, Bob? I need to sit down. I kid you not, I grabbed my chair, I sat it up right here, and I just sit down, and I'm like, do you think the insurance will cover this? He's laughing at me, Sandy's laughing at me. This is where the brainstorming began. What we needed to do was lift the front of the truck and push it back, right? So that the wheel could be centered again. All right, Bob, how are we gonna do this? So he's like, well, come here. Tell Sandy to get in the truck. She'll put it in neutral and we'll push it backwards. I don't know how much the truck weighs, but when my dad told me to push this truck up a hill with him, I was like, we're in the wrong business. Why aren't we in like the circus pushing trucks around to make money? First round, me and him, we start grabbing onto the truck. We are like pushing on my fenders. So me and my dad are pushing it, we're pushing it. And we look up at each other and we're like, it didn't move. And we're like kind of happy about that because it didn't move. Then we look up at Sandy and she's like, should I take the e-brake off? Bruh, yes. So she goes again, takes the e-brake off. Me and my dad are ready. We're pushing. It starts to come back our way. So it got even higher onto the tires. So me and my dad are out of the pushing truck business. That's number 1. Secondly, my dad grabs a Sequoia 5.7 V8 4x4, absolute beast of a truck. Let me push you. Plastic, absolute plastic junk. It still doesn't even go in right. So his is also plastic junk. So we would have just ended up with 2 destroyed vehicles. So my dad thinks, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. I'll go and weld a bar so that he can hook it to his Sequoia and push me up and back. And I was like, Bob, you are not doing that. We are not doing that. So then he says, okay, let's get a tow truck to come out here, lift the truck up from the front and then push it back. So I call my buddy up. I'm like, Jerson, hey, you still got that tow truck? He's like, yeah, I got the tow truck. What do you need? I'm like, how much would it be if you came and helped me? He tells me a number. I'm like, all right, bro, say less, come to my house. So he comes to my house. He sees me in my absolute worst moment. So I'm like, hey buddy, look, can you lift it here and push it back? No, I can't do that because it won't work. So at this point, my dad and Jerson take over. What we ended up doing to fix this, we lifted the rear, we lifted it all the way up, we grabbed the axle and we moved it forward. Once the axle was in place, we tightened everything down. Everything was good to go. Mind you, when I say we, I was the one turning the jack up and then turning it down. Now we have to deal with the drive shaft being hanging. It was dangling on the ground and well, the truck was literally undrivable for like a week. I've literally kept this just to show you guys and I think I'm gonna keep it even now. That is my boot sleeve, whatever you wanna call it. Absolutely ripped into two. So right there, as you guys can see, that was the piece that came undone. So it pretty much just slipped out, and if you know anything about cars, it slides out and slides right back in. So we get everything set up, and I think we got it done on Friday. On Saturday, we went camping. We have not had any issues at all. What do you think? Comment down below. I know I just rambled for so long, and I appreciate if you did watch. My truck was undrivable. We are now a-okay. Shirts, I'll be having shirts for sale. They will be linked down below in today's video. So if you want a shirt, there's only one for sale. It's gonna be this one. I'll put some pictures on screen now just to do it a little bit more justice. I'm just trying to find out how this Etsy stuff works. But with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, a like, a comment, and a subscription. It's been your boy. I'm Audi like an Audi. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.